Is it possible, not unlike when Bobby Kennedy was the Attorney General, that there was a Get Hoffa squad there? I wonder, honestly, whether there's a Get Big Tech squad within the Justice Department.
Okay, that is somehow Jim Cramer still on television asking the assistant AG to the Justice Department's antitrust division, that's Cantor there, about whether or not there's a Get Me squad against big tech. Is big tech, are they being hunted? Oh my God. And he did have an answer for that. I just want to play that if we have it.
We don't bring very many antitrust actions every year. It's a small handful, and we only do so when the facts and the law support it. I spent, about 2 weeks ago, I was out in the Bay Area, and I spent time with VCs, founders from across the technology industry. And what I heard was that they overwhelmingly support our tech cases. Why? Because they want to build and invest in businesses that have the opportunity to succeed and become durable and thrive on the competitive stage.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Why are we talking about this? I buried the lead, but that is Jonathan Cantor, and he brought a case against Google for being a monopoly and trafficking and doing anti-monopolistic or monopolistic practices he is part of the antitrust division. And a federal judge, Judge Amit Mehta, ruled that yes, Google is a monopoly. Haha, as if we couldn't all tell you that from how we search for anything on the internet. It is based on how Google runs its operation, which involves paying competitors like Apple and Mozilla billions of dollars a year for them to make Google the default search engine on their browsers. Google paid Apple $18 billion in 2021 for it to be the default, the New York Times reported. And Judge Mehta ruled that practice stifles competition. And what you heard from Jonathan Cantor there was that actually when he goes to Silicon Valley and he talks to tech businesses, they're like, this is good because we want the ability to thrive as well. And we want actual capitalism, which necessitates real competition and means that monopolies cannot exist. Google sells ad placements also within its search engines at extremely high prices. We all know that Google has a monopoly on those ads and they overcharge for them. Judge Mehta also ruled that Google was able to charge higher prices than should exist because of their monopolistic power. Google can then further solidify its dominance thanks to those high prices, which in turn allows for the company to charge even higher prices on and on and on. We see this with Amazon as well. Funny enough, John, the Justice Department opened this case against Google not under Joe Biden, but in 2020. During the Trump administration. And now that it has been successfully ruled a monopoly, it goes to the remedy phase, which means that maybe Google's parent company Alphabet will have to sell off parts of Google. They might have to give up control of this market. Obviously, Google is going to be appealing the ruling. They said in a statement they plan to appeal the decision and that Mehta's opinion recognized Google as an internet's best search engine, an argument the company had made in court as the reason consumers preferred Google over the competition. John, it's not that they're a monopoly. They're the best. They're the best.
There's some great things about Google or whatever. Doesn't mean that they're not a monopoly. I mean, obviously, like if virtually any company was to be able to be referred to as a monopoly, it's pretty strong. I mean, I'm not saying that they're the only ones. Apple, they've got their hands in a lot of baskets or whatever. And by the way, long time. I'm a big fan of John Oliver. We don't often get a chance to really feel the way he feels, but in this case, we have to criticize our business daddy because of course our platform is YouTube, one of the parts of the Google monopoly. That's how we make all of our money or whatever, but we're still to criticize them because we're consistent on our values. They control like everything and it gives them massive power to shape outcomes and to like, I'm very glad that you were focusing on the payments that are made in terms of like being the default search engine. Like, they have every bit of their monopoly gives them the resources to buttress other elements of the monopoly. It is like a self-sustaining thing. try to conceive of other like search engines or providers breaking in. There are others. It's just basically impossible. The numbers are too large. And it's all gonna come down to, as you said, the remedy phase. Like, you can do virtually nothing to change this. You could do massive stuff to change this. Until we know that, it's almost impossible to really respond to this. And God only knows what the time horizon will be on them actually making those decisions. But it is interesting that it was begun at all and that there could actually be changes, but it remains to be seen what they'll look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And Google has admitted that another Google couldn't exist now. Like another Google would never be allowed to exist because of them, because of Google. And like chicken or the egg on whether it's the best search engine or you have a monopoly over everything. You keep data on everyone. You're able, just like Apple in terms of the iPhone, can make like their product better or more efficient because they have that monopoly and also box anyone out of the search engine game. John, just full disclosure, I'm a DuckDuckGo babe. I know it's weird, and like you all think that DuckDuckGo is like probably, some weird QAnon thing. I know it sounds like that, but it's like doesn't track my searching, and I search for like, crazy things like Tim Walz being hugged by children. Those are like mostly my search terms. But like there are other search engines out there, right? So this is important. It matters obviously who becomes president in next year, whether it's Kamala Harris or whether it's Don Trump. Don? God, I've never called him Don.
Don Sr.?
Don Sr., yeah. We will see how this unfolds, but this is a massive win for people who believe in actually breaking up big tech, not just saying it, and who believe that Google has far too much market power.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.